So the other night I revisited Thelma with my mom and my brother. I saw this movie in theaters when it came out, and I went by myself, but I had a pretty packed theater. It was one of the smaller theaters in the multiplex, but it was a really good crowd. We all had a really good time with this movie. It's about a 93-year-old woman named Thelma who is dealing with the process of getting old and not wanting to rely on her daughter and her husband, as well as her grandson, for assistance in everyday things. Until one fateful day when she gets scammed by someone pretending to be her grandson, saying that he got into a car accident and needs to send $10,000 to an attorney through the mail. Her and her family go to the police. They're of no help, so she decides she's going to take this into her own hands to prove that she can still do things on her own. And she's even inspired by Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible movies to do it, which I think in its own is pretty funny. She gets help from her friend Ben, played by Richard Roundtree, who unfortunately passed away right before the release of this film, and the two of them go on an adventure across the city in order to get this money back. Hijinks ensue, and this movie is overall just such a good time. This movie deals with the idea of aging to a great extent, and is very grounded in its approach to doing so. It deals with the ever-growing advancement of technology, as well as things like dementia. As you get older, you watch all of your friends pass on. It's pretty dark at times too, thankfully in more of a humorous extent though. There's a moment when Thelma has to go up a flight of stairs, and for a person of medium age or younger, it may not be as difficult, but for an elderly woman, stairs are a challenge. So it has that real dramatic effect to it, which I think is done tremendously well. There's a moment between Thelma and Ben where Ben comes out to her and says that he's accepted that he can't do everything on his own, and that you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help from your loved ones. Thelma has a hard time coming around to that, but I think it's done really well. It's hilarious in all accounts. Fred Hechinger plays Daniel, her grandson, and he does a great job on his own as well. Parker Posey and Clark Gregg play the mother and father in this movie, and their dynamic is also really funny. Everyone's just great in this movie. On the surface, it doesn't feel like there's a lot at stake, but this movie does a great job with balancing realism and elevating a lot of that realism into something more dramatic. This was one of my favorite movies of 2024, and I'm glad I got to finally show it to my family, as it really made me miss my grandparents. If you'd like to watch the movie, you can get the Blu-ray, and it's also available on Hulu and Hoopla. Be sure to watch it and come back here and let me know in the comments what you thought. And if you've seen it already, what did you think? Let me know. And if you haven't already, feel free to hit that follow button for more content surrounding movies. I'll see you soon.